Okay. Moving on. Hey, Jesse's mask. Not to be confused with Jesse Ward. It's not even Jesse's Ward, it's just Jesse. You're killing me. Alright. Okay. I had 3 things to do, and I'm trying to remember what all 3 of them were. Still nothing interesting happening for the VOD watchers. I realize I'm discouraging people from watching the VODs, and that's career suicide, but I'm just being honest with you. All we're doing is chatting, hanging out, discussing deeply polemic topics. You know, stuff like that. Hey, R-Spruce. Okay, so it was... Sell... Upgrade. Oh my god, what was the other thing I was gonna do? Can't do that yet. That's waiting. I just did that. I just did that. That was it. Okay, okay. I remembered. I remembered all 3 things you're doing. Jesus. Let's do this first, actually. I was actually thinking about that, Frieza. I don't know how to 100% reliably spawn them, but I know a rough area of where they roll. Yes, please upgrade my inventory size. Please upgrade my Yura. My Yura needs upgrading. Yura has now been upgraded. Want to hear a funny thing? This whole game, we have yet to double our weapon size. Our inventory size, I should say. Just process that as much as you want to. Okay. Who do you think has the most money? Like, we've got the bird people, we've got the Gerudo, we've got the Kakariko, and we've got the Hateno. And these 2 people don't exist. These people aren't here. I guess these 2 people. These 2 people don't exist. Nobody? Okay. We'll go Hateno then. We'll default. I mean, they had 60,000 rupees to knock over a house. It's got to be the Hateno, right? Like, that's a crap ton of money. So let's rip some of that money out of the local economy, shall we? I had bacon, eggs, and a muffin, Yura. Oh, hey, arrows. Not worth it.
Yeah.
I would like to sell to you. Where's my... Yeah, there. I'll sell my scales. I'll sell all of my scales. There you go. Yeah, I also have 18 of his horn. So... I have 10 of his horn.
Whoa.
We should be good for money for the rest of the game. Yeah, Hateno is in a nice spot. Kakariko, eh. And the rest of the places are for other species. Like, living up in a what is effectively a bird perch is nice if you can fly if something goes bad. If something goes bad, then you're dead. And the Gerudo live in the desert, I've said. The Zora I could see, but I don't like seafood, so I would have hunger issues. And the Goron live in the heat, so yeah, that really doesn't leave a lot of options. Hey, have 10,000 rupees. Just for you, Yura. Little bright. Hello there. I am the Earth Fairy, the oldest of the sisters. I've been watching your activities inside my bed all this time, and haven't you been busy swinging that sword around, adventuring? I'm just making wild assumptions, you know. I truly do see all. I'll prove it. I'll predict what you're thinking right at this moment. You're probably thinking, can't we just skip the part where she enhances my clothing, right? Looks like I hit the mark, huh? Damn, what an impatient person. Anyways, so let's see what we need over here, shall we? So we're gonna need, yep, more stuff. Well, we can upgrade this right now, and that's 8 more armor now. So let's do that. And this is the final upgrade animation. Yep, she drowns us. And probably has her way with us, if we're being honest. No kidding, Earth Bruce. Yeah, can't show off some of what you just said. Okay, so we need one more hoof. We could get that from a regular Lionel right now, but that might not be worth the durability. So we're probably gonna hold off on that. We need one more hoof, and then we're gonna need 4 more guts, and then the 2 horns. So 4 guts, 2 horns, 1 hoof. That's our to-do list. Hey, Jolly Leprechaun, I am sorry that you're having to deal with a rather outdated power grid. Okay, I mean, we could try it. What do we have for weapons? Where are we at? Where are we at? We have a little bit of room, too. Let's do 1 Lionel. See if they drop a hoof. So we'll hit the old reliable. We'll hit the Colosseum. See if we can get a hoof. I'm a little surprised all these Lionels we've been killing haven't upgraded the world yet, but I know they only give, what, like 50? Speaking of which, I have added a few more positives to the game, one of which is, of course, for core combat, because it's really, really good. It's the best the whole franchise has had. Probably our Spruce. Although I have to say it that way, because, oh. As far as negatives, I did add one more additional negative. It's just kind of a info in-game negative. There are several mechanisms in this game that nothing tells you even exists. The world level thing, I never knew how that worked. Or the very nature of how cooking works. Each cooking ingredient being a certain type of mixture, which can then add to the final product. But the order of events in which overrides what, and how there's tiers of equipment, none of that's exposited in the game. That's the kind of thing you have to figure out through reverse engineering, or, of course, looking it up. So, info in game, negative.
Okay.
Let's see if our current armor is good enough. So favorite shrine in the game. God. I do actually rather enjoy most of the puzzle shrines. But as far as a specific individual shrine that jumps out at me, if I'm being honest, none of them do. And that is a problem. Like, that's pretty much the problem with the shrines in a nutshell. They're more good as a group than they are as individual dungeons, right? You'll notice we have not given any shrine individual positives, only bundles of shrines. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I could be wrong. I look forward to there being a shrine which is just, oh man, that was awesome. I've been a little bit antsy because there are ants right now, and I dislike the sensation of something crawling on my legs. Yeah, no, that damage difference is huge. So speaking of, I also looked up how armor works in this game. So first of all, damage cannot be reduced below a quarter heart. Let's just start with that. However, every attack in the game has a specific damage value. Armor linearly reduces that. If you have 5 armor and the enemy has 9 attack power, then you get hit for 4. Pretty linearly. If the enemy has 10 attack power and you have 5 armor, you get hit for 5. Makes sense, right? Thing is, we've been upgrading our armor a lot more than I thought we were. Like, what I mean by that is, at our max level, one of our pieces of armor has 20 armor on it. Which means when we have everything maxed, we will have 60 armor. That is a huge, huge boost of armor. At that point, we won't need all those armor buffs I've been making. We could just stand there and be like, what? Hello, Evo. Good afternoon. Hooves! 3 hooves! Oh, you asshole. Yeah, actually, that's something I wanted to mention, too. The last time we played this game, there was a specific moment in the game where I started enjoying myself more. And I could point to it very specifically, because it is an exact point. It's when we had Lionels on farm. There's most games like this have that kind of tipping point, right? Where you start to snowball a little bit, you start to get ahead of the curve. Metroid games do that as a regular point of example. And I remember last time I played this, the moment we got to that point, I started enjoying the game a lot more, and here we are again. Just for you, Evo.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Have you seen the level 3 upgrade yet, Evo? Because here it is. It's okay, level 4 upgrade is worse. But I don't have the mats for that yet. You are spared.
Oh. Bye.
Although... all I need is those horns. So... and some guts. Sorry, I need horns and guts. Still, let's see if we can get a horn really quick. It could have been worse. She could have been Faye, Evo. Could you imagine? Ugh. That's a good question, Spartan. I have no idea. I think you're right, though. Alright, so... I'm sorry. Help me out here, Frieza, if you don't mind. I've got Rivali's gaze. Gale. Gaze. Wow. We'll see, Spartan. We'll see. Yes, I do, actually. Let's see. Anything down there? Okay, bridge overpass west of that line. Should be this way. Oh, tell me about it, Spartan. So, while we're flying, I do actually have airship playlists. Let's see if I can pull a good one up here. I don't know. This should do. I actually do agree with you, Sarani, but I do still think the game has good enemy variety, enough for a positive. Remember, positives can be a lot more than one. Definite positives on that, Spartan. I do like the towns, I do like the NPCs. Okay, hang on, so I'm looking for a bridge. Do you mean that thing? I feel like you don't mean that thing. You do mean that thing, okay. I don't even know at this point, Evo. Okay, so. And we're waiting for rain. Where's my lumber arrows? I'm also really low on arrows right now. Because I just burnt most of my arrows farming money. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? I see a dragon. You know, under other circumstances, this would be terrifying. Just seeing that thing coming down there. In fact... okay, let's change the tone here a little bit. That's not quite the tone I want. I want something a little bit more doomy. How about... I think that'll work. Less than half of them, Sarani. But yes. Is she gonna come down here? Oh, there we go. That's the tempo I wanted. Still don't have the climbing suit. It was the first suit I upgraded last time around. Because, you know, it's the climbing suit. I don't even see a horn. We'll go with that. Hope that's a horn. That didn't sound like a horn. Okay. That was actual death. God, where'd it go? I don't even see where it landed. I'm so sick of this song. I am so sick of this song. Not Succession of Wishes, the dragon song. That's another thing. You can only get one thing per dragon spawn. Am I the only one who disagrees with that? That's just a straight up scale. No, Evo. Not unless you're emulating, and we would never do that. Also, I've never actually looked into emulating it. So. It is a good song. That's the really frustrating part, Spartan. It's the Persona 5 thing all over again. Masquerade's a good song, but goddamn, I'm sick of hearing it. Know what I mean? But for real, I've actually never looked into Switch emulation. After all, Switch emulation would take away the best part about the Switch. These things. So I'm looking for a blue crest thing. That's funny, because on the other guy, which I was farming horns on, by the way, I got to the point where I could easily farm horns off of the other guy, Pharos, or Pharaon, or whatever his name was. I got really, really good at hitting his horn. It was also really obvious what the horn was. How many fairies am I at? Fairies. Where does it keep? There are 3. Of course, naturally the horn would be on the back of its head. That makes so much sense. I need to bring up Nintendo. Hey, Nintendo, I've got this thing called the dictionary. Yes, I know I have no room to talk. Look, it's because I don't like... Look, okay. They hung up on me. They probably knew I was going to try and pitch that Mario 4X game again. I'm never going to shut up about that. So, we're going to aim for her crest. That's the right sound. Where are you going? Where are you going? Over there. Whoa, way over there. Jeez! Okay. And down. Holy crap. Alright, we'll be with you in a minute. I see it. I see it. Whew, that's a trip. So, fun story, Frieza. I was farming Pharaon earlier, obviously, to get all the money that we just used. And at one point, she stopped selling. She stopped having stuff, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Why do you stop dropping stuff? And then I paused. I was like, wait, that means there's too many items you've dropped currently spawned in the world. And I happen to know that some of them spawn over, like, down the hill. So I went and checked down the hill, and there were, like, 20 scales, horns, and claws just cluttered around there. Fallon. Where the hell's Fallon? Or Eldon. Sorry, not Fallon. Eldon. Elden. There's Elden. Like, it's over here somewhere, isn't it? Is memory serving? Like, I remember him going along down this just chasm here. Yeah, pretty much Triaxia. North of Death Mountain? Okay. Well, the best I got. Oh, no, actually, I've got over here. This should be the labyrinth. I like these controllers, Sean. They need to fix them. They do. I'm never going to dismiss that. See, there's this weird thing that most of the internet does not understand. You can like something and still criticize it at the same time. These are not mutually exclusive. Okay, so if we're heading up there, I guess we'll do this. Everyone's favorite part of the game, the pitch blackness zone. I want to go this way. Yeah, exactly. It's binary. Love or hate. They don't. That's why they call it the love-hate relationship, because it's love or hate. How the hell, Frieza? Did they decide that farming dragons was too easy? Oh, Jesus. No. Okay, we're okay. Like, I'm sorry, but you realize that farming dragons is actually a huge hassle in this game, right? It takes experience, it takes a lot of travel time, it takes setup, it takes pre-knowledge. Like, do I have to give the balance speech again? Is that what this is? Stop trying to balance your games. God dang it. Let them be fun. Oh, wrong weapon. Someone remind me to turn in the quest thingy. Just say quest thingy. I'll know what you mean. Oh, that's hilarious, Frieza. Also, you're starting to repeat yourself. You did that earlier, too. You might have gotten... I don't know. Internet virus? God, I don't know. I can't talk. There's no talk. There is only death. Infinite death. The darkness of the dragons lies within me. Whoop, yep. Did this game have a huge impact on the industry? No. Now, please keep in mind, I don't particularly like Skyrim, but I still think Skyrim had a bigger impact on the industry than this game did. I should also mention, and I really hate to point this out, but I've studied game design and game history quite a lot. I think I could say with at least a little bit of certainty, certain types of games that have had demonstrable impacts on the industry. This is not one of them. Oh no, Yura! One game might not have existed if not for this game. The biggest thing that this game really brought to the table was the nature of how it approached verticality and how it approached climbing. Both of which are things that no one else has really done anything with since. Except for Nintendo themselves. And if we're being honest, Skyrim itself is more influential as a popularizer than it is for actually innovating. Games like Grand Theft Auto 3 and Daggerfall... I'm going to walk that back. Grand Theft Auto 3 and Morrowind did a lot more to actually push the concept of open world, for better and for worse. By the way, I don't know how far I'm going here, Frieza, so just kind of like poke me when I've gone far enough. Yeah, Skyrim was extremely mainstream. I have actually argued before, and I don't really mean this as an insult, that Skyrim might be the mainstream game. The game that hits every demographic. The game that everybody's heard of. The game that I know people in their 80s who play it. I know children who play it. Ah, there's the skeleton. Is that another Lionel? No, that's a bokoblin. Whatever the big ones are called. Unfortunately, it's not a Lionel, otherwise I'd have another good Lionel to farm. I need to depopulate the Lionels. I still need guts. That rock. That I'm going to currently go towards. Oh, hey, Zelda filling this music. It actually is. I've talked several times positively about how video games can be a good influence on people who are in their old age to keep them mentally stimulated and entertained as their body starts to fail around them. That's not me being facetious. That's me giving legitimate opinion and thought, and that's coming from a medical perspective more than anything else. I bring that up especially because Skyrim is uniquely very good at that. Skyrim's barrier to entry is colossally low. And if you have shakes, if you have grip issues, if you have eye-hand coordination issues, or if you have vision issues, all of those are things that are not really an impediment to sitting, playing, and enjoying Skyrim. And as you might imagine, that applies to a lot of elderly people. Elderly? Now, Skyrim gets no credit for any of that, to be very clear. It's not like Skyrim was sitting out to be that kind of a game. But in Reality Land, it is that, and that needs to be acknowledged. Morning, I assume? Let's do morning. We'll just do morning. We'll presuminate. Alright, none of this Zelda music. Get out of here. There we go. That's much better. Ironically, if Starfield was better constructed, I could see it as a replacement for Skyrim, in that exact same manner. It isn't, so it isn't. That's a damn shame. I mean, what's another day, right? Just video game things. In real life, if you're told, yeah, wait another 24 hours, what's your reaction? In a video game, it's just, oh yeah, sure, let me hit a button. D&D's like that a lot. That's a 2-week journey. Okay, let's do it. Alright, you're there. I've been waiting a moment. I'm also guessing at where it's going to come from. Man, I was hyped for Skyrim. That trailer was really good. It was. It was a damn good trailer. Yeah, I liked Oblivion and I liked Fallout 3, so I was pretty primed to like Skyrim. Now, east would be that way. Towards the dead sun of infinite death. Yep, that's how deathy this is. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Oblivion will score better than Skyrim. But I have no real way of knowing that, and... I mean, I've been wrong like 10 times this year alone, so maybe I should just shut up about making predictions about how games will score. Well, I have no idea, Traxia. Come on, I need one horn. One. You've got to be kidding me, Sean. I hate it when they do that. They do that with movies all the time, too. Here's the soundtrack. It doesn't contain any music that was actually in the movie. Oh. And, like, good luck buying all of the FF14 music. Here's another example of that. It actually took me a lot of work and effort to compile rips of the FF14 soundtrack. Because they had to be ripped from the game, because the actual CDs didn't have all the songs in them. Anyways. Let's just put it on the skeleton, just straight up. I mean, one of the theories we had for a while was that this Link was actually the next Ganondorf. That he was a Gerudo. Remember that? Those were all wrong, of course. Link is no one special whatsoever. But, you know. It was a cool thought. How so, Luke? I mean, an RTS of pretty much anything could work, Trihexia. I'm still waiting for an RTS of, like the Toy Story RTS. All the toys. We need more plastic! You harvest the dead toys for more parts. Okay, that's a little dark, but it would work.
Rivali's gale is now ready.
Thanks, Rivali. Whoa! Hello. Okay. There we go. Closer? Nope. Okay. We'll make it work. We had 2 arrows left. We made it work. Okay, don't go over the edge. Don't go over the edge. Okay. Well, but like... Never mind. Look, I'm gonna let that go. I'm just checking something super quick. Oh, and replacing my, berries. Oh god. I just realized something awful. I guarantee you that if they decided to make Link a Gerudo, he'd have to be darker skinned, and people would whine. Just whine about that. Okay, so we need... Yep, no, I was right. 4 guts. Yeah, Link traditionally is actually pretty short. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or what, or if it's just a thing, like how he's left-handed. I don't know. Okay, so that's seeds, that's upgrade, and that's cells. That's the main thing I want. 3 things I wanted to do. It's time to start sweeping a little bit. Favorite Link model, just visually? Honestly, I do like this one quite a lot. Most epic load screen ever. See, the problem is, I'm trying to think if any of them come close, other than Twilight Princess and this one. Because that's the options for me, I think. As far as preference goes. Don't mistake me, Wind Waker Link is nicely expressive, but, I mean, he's still Wind Waker Link. So, we've been killing Lionels left and right. Let's see if we can kill one of these dudes. Yeah, let's actually heal first. Just really quick. We are not going to put on armor. See how we do. Boy, I got health. Too long on that. Oh well. Armor's showing itself though, tell you what. Oh, you know it, Culgrim. Especially in a game with durability, because yes, that is part of the durability problem. Oh, I have no arrows left. Yeah, pretty much, Frieza. We've upgraded our armor, so now we're good. Wow, that is a lot of shock arrows. That is a lot of shock arrows. I guess that's what you get for farming Lionels for, like, a couple hours. Hey, Dragon Player. Yeah, that attack right there is pretty much designed to kill us. See that buffering? I didn't either, Frieza. Oh, looks like they're immune to it now. Oh, okay. Goodbye. And I think we actually net positived on weapons there. Although only because we were using the Master Sword. Oh, absolutely, Colgrim. And not counting Tears of the Kingdom, which I, of course, have not played. So yeah, now we got some pretty good stuff. We got double plus Guardian gear. That's gonna help. Nice. I'll take the Royal Claymore as well. Oh yeah, I wanted to do that, didn't I? So, how many of you in chat, I guess the better way to ask this question is, how many of you would not think that this game is a very pretty game, visually? I swear I'm going somewhere with this. Is that a combat? That's a combat. That's a combat. I don't... See, now I have to actually stagger combat shrines so I don't have too many weapons. Let's go here. Just really quick. I just want to show something off really quick. Now, I'm not going to ding the game for this. But there's something that detracts from my enjoyment of the visuals of this game, and I wanted to showcase it to you. But of course, it's raining. So, you'll have to give me a moment to take off all my gear. There we go. I didn't actually mean to go over the edge. I mean, the bloom is obviously a thing, but that's, believe it or not what I'm talking about. Here, this actually is a better spot. Yeah, let's see if we can get it so it's not in the middle of a thunderstorm, shall we? Okay, well, never mind. We'll come back to that. To be continued. Or, no, actually, I want to start using that. Let's go do another major combat shrine. Oh, I bet, Cauldron. Just hold on to that graphics thing. We'll come back to it after the graphics, after the combat shrine, and hopefully it won't be lightning stormy anymore. And yes, I know I could go wait, but I'd rather just get a shrine done while we're waiting. I believe you completely, Colvin. They are Spartan. Although they wouldn't be truly good until Warlords. But each expansion is actually an improvement overall of the previous ones in terms of drop rates. Yeah, every time someone tells me Wrath is their favorite expansion, I think, did you actually play Wrath? Oh, much higher than 90% even. Much higher. This should be another net positive in terms of gear. Because we just lost one sword, but... we just got 3. This is why we have to be careful now about these combat shrines. We still got room, but we're gonna start filling up on Guardian gear. A little bit. Yeah, you have to do the plateau, which means doing the 3 micro dungeons, and then you have to go kill Ganon. That's it. I suppose if you want to be technical, what that means is, so 3 micro dungeons, roaming the plateau, getting through Hyrule Field, getting through Hyrule Castle, final boss. There you go. That's your MSQ. Oh, absolutely, Colgrim. Mostly in certain areas like the Korok Forest. Okay, is it still raining? Let's find out. Negative for engine. Nah. If I gave a ding for every game that had frame drops, that would be pretty much 100% of the games I cover. Like, seriously, going back to the NES. No, I don't think it will, Sean. It'd be nice, but it won't. Oh my god, of course it's still raining. I just... okay. Okay, sure. Alright, I want to show off this concept, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I was avoiding doing. I'm gonna waste time because it's raining. Again. That is... even just in this playthrough, that's the 5th or so time. Oh, speaking of which, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th or so time that I've had to just stall because it's raining. You know what? This'll do. Sure, whatever. I don't even care. I don't even care. This is not what I wanted to show off, but it'll have to do because rain exists. Oh, come on. So, look at that. Pretty, right? It's so pretty that this is a bad shot of it, so we're going to give you a better shot of it. And then it's going to start raining. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet it's going to be raining when we get there? Okay, it's not raining. It's overcast, but I can live with that. Alright, so I want you to do me a favor, and I just want you to take a look around. You know me, I like to do these kind of side-by-side comparisons. This is gorgeous, I think, right? You know, the mountains, the ocean in the background. Lovely green fields. It's overcast, of course. Oh my god. Little forest down there, you know. Nice trees up in the woods. This is all pretty, right? Now let's say that, for a moment, I can't fast travel. Just bear with me for a second. Maybe I haven't been over there yet. So pretend I haven't been over here yet. So I want to go over here. So this is what going over here entails. And while we're doing this, thank you, Sean. And by Sean, I mean Justin, very, very much for the sub. Always. If you give me a moment, I kind of don't want to interrupt this. But I will jot that down for Star Trek Resurgence, Resident Evil Block, and Stranger of Paradise. And yes, I am moving. I've talked about this well in advance. I don't know exactly when, which is the problem. I don't know exactly where, which is the other problem. But I am moving. Very pretty, right? Watch, it's gonna become sun time by the time we actually get over there. Now let's assume for a moment we actually do have a horse. Let's be fair about this. So let's teleport our horse to us, which requires us to do an entire side quest just to get that. And also is DLC, I'm pretty sure. But whatever, we have a horse, so cool, we have a horse. Very pretty. And we have officially made it to our destination. You can even see where we came from. It's that tower right over there. That took 3.5 minutes, give or take, according to my timer. That's not a super long period of time. Not really. Oh, I'm going somewhere with this. I swear. I could go right for the jugular on this, but I'm actually not going to. I apologize for how long this is taking to set up. I swear I am trying to make a point. So let's go ahead and get rid of the interface really quick. I don't want that one. We'll do that one. That's a good one. So, fairly similar overall zone to the one we just went through. Like I said, I could go for the jugular here, but let's be fair. This is Mulgore. Mulgore's gorgeous. And does a really, really good job of showcasing the type of terrain we just went through, as you can see right there, right? So, let's say I want to go to the other side of Mulgore. Hell, let's take it easy. Very pretty, right? And that took about 33 seconds to cross the entire zone. There's where we just were. Have I made my point? Now again, I've decided not to ding the game for this, but I was thinking about this just last night. Because... Oh, I totally can, Golgrim. Watch me! But, the problem here is... If you make if you make a world in which there's you have to get from point A to point B, you need to make that actual action of doing that engaging in some way or another. That's actually why we have a category called Traversal. Is because really good games will make getting from point A to point B fun. The game I'm just showing right now is an example of that. Dragon flying is awesome and one of the better ideas WoW's ever had. Spider-Man on the PS4 makes the web swinging fun and interesting and unique and engaging. And it's actually fun to not fast travel. It's worth noting that game does also have fast travel if you feel like not web swinging. Shadow of War, the second Mordor game, actually had surprisingly interesting and fun mechanics for just climbing, running, and zooming very, very quickly in superhuman fashion across the terrain. And of course, I'm struggling to come up with other examples, but there are other examples. Games that have tried to make this something interesting. GTA 5 even qualifies. Traversal is a critical part of a game, especially when your game world is huge. And Breath of the Wild is gargantuan. And yet, even though WoW is much larger, it feels a lot smoother and easier to traverse because of this thing right here. Because of the inclusion of dragon flying and the fact that you can zip around zones pretty much just like that. Now, you're probably thinking, well, you have to be 60. Give it a couple of months. As soon as the acclimation patch hits, you will actually have access to dragon riding as of level 20. As a new character, it's worth noting. So, I was thinking about this just last night because I was actually doing exactly this. I was traversing a zone. It wasn't actually Mulgore. It was the Jade Forest in Pandaria. And I went from the south end to the north end of the Jade Forest in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. And now granted, I was actually going quickly there, trying to maximize my speed because it's me. But still, it occurred to me that that trip was so smooth and easy and I still got to enjoy the journey. And I bring that up specifically because one of the things I usually hear as an argument for why travel should be slow is you can take in the sights. I have two counter-arguments for that. The first is the most obvious. I can take in the sights going full speed, thank you very much. That's not bragging, that's just fact. I can enjoy the visuals of this zone at full pace. But second of all, I can also do it at this pace, if I wanted to. Hell, I can do it at this pace if I wanted to. And yeah, as Colgrim points out, thank you for pointing out, Colgrim, if I really see something cool, you know what I could do? Oh, hey, there's something cool. Check it out. That's cool. And I can just stop and admire it for a second. I can do that. That's awesome. And it's worth noting, I do that. Most of you have never seen this, of course, but one of the things I tend to do fairly frequently whenever a new expansion comes out in World of Warcraft is I will take time just enjoying the sights. Just hitting a new thing and being, oh, dude, and I'm playing with Pax, because of course I am. I'm like, Pax, check this out, and he's like, oh, that's so cool, you know. We will soak in the sights. But it's nice that when I want to get over to that totem there, you know, the center of Thunder Bluff here, all it takes me is that. Moving on. I apologize for the derailment. Actually, yeah. A good friend of mine was playing through WoW for the first time semi-recently, and one of the first things they would do in new areas is just gush about the visuals. The doodad design, especially. Doodads are so good in WoW. It's going to break the bank on doodad pluses. It's going to completely break it. I'm gonna laugh if this is a combat shrine. It's just it's a gimme shrine. Okay. I mean, WoW, the Blizzard art team have never stopped being amazing. That's just how that is. I have no judgment for anybody who doesn't particularly care for the visual style, the aesthetic of it. No judgment. But you cannot deny that that art team does not know what they're doing. Get some good sleep, Evo. You need it. But yes, dragon riding is available everywhere you can fly with, like, I think 5 exceptions, Spartan, and they're all very specific exceptions. They've actually stopped calling it dragon riding because it's going to apply to mounts that are not dragon riding mounts. All mounts, with all flying mounts, are going to be dragon flying mounts as of the acclimation patch, which is about 2 months out. That's why they're calling it something else. I forget what they're calling it, actually. It's like dynamic flying or something like that. But anyways. Yeah, it's not going to be dragon flying. It's just going to be flying. No, the acclimation patch before War Within, Dark Day. For those of you who've never been around for such a thing, most MMOs do this thing where they patch a game up to the state of the new expansion before the expansion actually goes live, so that the new systems, mechanics, and otherwise can be played around with and tested prior to the game actually then having the new content in it. So, several things, including the warband feature and the aforementioned... Oh, that's an interesting one. The aforementioned dynamic flying will go live on acclimation. It also reduces the load and makes it easier to download and patch, and it allows them to catch any bugs they might have missed. In short, acclimation's a really, really good idea, and I've always been in favor of it. Yeah, this, I think I recognize this shrine, which is sort of sad. Yes, warband is their code word, their hotkey word, whatever you want to call that, for account bound. That's not what I was expecting to happen there. I got this. I can't believe that worked. Oh no, there'll still be soulbound. The overwhelming majority of stuff that was BOP is going to switch to being BOA. That is to say warbound. Or warband bound, you know what I mean. Okay, so let's get out our puzzle-solving sword, which is currently recharging. And I don't have a lot of arrows. Yeah, we're gonna have to use bombs. Okay. This should be terrible. Oh my god, I already hate this. You know what? We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. I want to do this with arrows. Because I don't want to do that with bombs. I don't want to do that with bombs. Let's just move on to the next shrine. I'll be back. A reference nobody will get because it's that old. Hey, you should talk to Prince Sidon. No, I'm good. Peace. Actually, I like to think that that Gerudo girl is still standing there out in the desert waiting for me to show up. Like, is he coming? I was like, hang on, let me do like several days worth of things first. Minor test of strength. Okay. Well, we're gonna guarantee downgrade weapons in this. That sucks. I mean, every major shrine we do actually gets us a net positive in terms of weapons now, as you can see. That's why we have so many Guardian weapons. But, other than that, no. Yeah, how many weeks did we spend camping out dragons? 50 or so? Something like that. Like 50 days just during this lunch break. So that's 50 days of camping out at the dragon. These guys are whatever, but there's other options. I'm just not doing them, Dakota. That's on me. I know Mike. So first of all, Mike from Resident Card's a really cool guy. I want to start with that because the idea that this game is dense is so alien to me. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I'm not even sure. I don't know how to process that. It's like saying, man, you know what I love most about, like, Twilight Princess? It's the first-person shooter sections, and I'm just like, what? Anyways. It's so dense with something. Anyways, so what happened to Dawn Trail? Dawn Trail is funded. The reason you don't see it on the website is because I have no idea when Dawn Trail is coming out. Although, actually, it should be on the website. Let's go check that. Let's go check the website. Let's see. Ah, looks like I actually didn't add it to the website. My bad. Well, either way, it's funded, is the answer to your question. Wonder how that didn't get in. So let's go to this one next. Actually, I do, Yura. But you'll have to give me several minutes to tell you the answer to that, because it takes several minutes for the document to load. It's already loading, Yura. Well, I can only see a tiny portion of my screen right now. There we go. Sunken Scoop. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, I remember this one. Oh, I remember this one. I remember sucking at this one. Alright, wish me luck. I got this. First try. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm feeling it. Okay, second try. Second try. It's gonna happen. Okay, third try. Third try. Depth perceptions for suckers. Alright, fourth try. Fourth try. This is gonna be great. We're gonna get the... okay, document opened. So hang on. Let's see. The... Beat 'em up block. The last time someone donated towards it was 10 days ago. I believe that was Irame, but don't quote me on that. Alright, 18th try. Let's do this. I got this. Feeling it. I'm feeling it. No. Let's get that water. Woohoo! Hey! What? My god, it pushed... Did you see that? It pushed it out of the way. Yes, game. I get it. Thank you. Thank you, game. Thank you. Let's just... Why don't you come with me? Why don't we just do it this way? We're just gonna do it this way. We're going on a journey. we go. Stay, stay. Okay, good. I like to think the piano player is just sitting there off camera like, this is my moment. This is my time to shine. Ready. Throw me in, coach. Throw me in. Okay. We're skipping that one for now. I really wish I could mute the game. I keep thinking how much better it would be if I could be playing real music while doing these little shrine sections instead of okay. Interesting. I have a weird feeling this is not how I'm supposed to do this. Whatever, I suppose. It. Matter which direction I rotate it in? Oh my god, it doesn't. Look. It doesn't matter which direction I rotate in. That's fine. do not remember this puzzle. Nope. Each time I think that laser's gonna hit me. A little close, but whatever. I don't screw up anyways. I really wonder whose job it was to sit down and come up with 120 unique appearances and profiles for all the monks. Because have you ever had to make 120 of anything and make each one different from the others? It starts to get hard at a certain point. All right, Johnson, because it's a very Japanese name. Johnson, I'm gonna need you to make 120 versions of this dude. Do they have to be unique? Yeah, every single one of them. Will anybody notice? No, except for YouTubers. I guess the occasional streamer. Yeah, Johnson-kun. See, what's funny is that wouldn't even necessarily guarantee anything, Snake Eyes. They could still duplicate without actually meaning to. You know, that's a good point. We have, like, nothing but Lionel gear on, not counting the sword. Shield, bow, and armor. You know, game. You don't have to show me that every time. I don't need to see that 120 times. This is what we call dead air. I officially have nothing to talk about. And we're just doing shrines. I've obviously already been unlocking a bunch of shrines off camera. I have admittedly been tempted to do shrines off camera. Just to move as much of this game off camera as possible. Sure, let's talk about WoW. Like, WoW, Star Trek, and Star Wars. That's pretty much my show at this point. But first, the power of electricity. Is this like the electricity tutorial? Because we've already done several electricity dungeons after this. Or, I guess, excuse me, before this. The content gap in between Wrath and Kata was huge. Like, really, really huge. It was a terrible time to be a WoW player, let me tell you what. Not the biggest content drought in the game. That would actually come in between Pandaria and Warlords. But yeah, they came out with the Halion raid, and the earthquakes started showing up more often. And that was your lot. That was it. Enjoy that. So a lot of us, of course, obviously I was in a raiding team at the time. So we switched over to doing Halion, and Halion was, you know, what it was. It was a decent fight. It had some new, cool, interesting mechanics. But that was it. There was just nothing to do. And then the Acclamation patch came out and ruined everything. I've actually talked before about how the Acclamation patch completely destroyed healing and tanking, and arguably DPSing. But I haven't talked about some of the specifics of that. Let me give you a specific example. Back in Wrath, there was this ability that I don't remember the name of. Tricks of the Trade, I want to say. It was a rogue ability. And it allowed a rogue to transfer a portion of the threat they generate over to something else. This really is the tutorial for this, isn't it? Over to something else while they're... doing the dance, while the buff is up. God, talk, Lord, talk. So, rogue would tap that, and then, you know, burst as hard as they could for a while, and transfer most of that over to the tank in order to try and facilitate the tank actually holding aggro. Kata, they decided to change that so that that was temporary. Now, if that doesn't sound insanely stupid, let me try to explain this a little bit. So let's say that I'm the tank, and Lord Harrimont in chat is the DPS. And Lord Harrimont's like, wham! And just burns all his cooldowns while that buff's up, generating tons and tons of threat for me until the buff wears off, at which point all the threat went right back to him. It was like temporarily borrowing or lending out the threat to me until he took it back. And so what kept happening, because our rogue was in the habit of using that button on cooldown, on whatever tank he was running under, is that the rogue would be like, alright, I'm ready, let's go, and then would pull aggro, and then would die. And part of the reason I remember this is because I was a tank, but also the other reason is people kept blaming me for not holding aggro. Until I actually decided to do my due diligence and look into what the hell was actually going on here. Figured out everything I just told you, and then explain, hey, And so we had to get the rogue to, you know, stop doing that. It's really, really frustrating, to say the least. You know? Hold on. So, you're attacking an empire. They had a planet. Planet was being raided by marauders. Your troops are on the planet, so he's attacking you. So this high-level fleet is now hostile to you. 13k in the early game, but your fleet is faster, so you just run in circles around the edge of the system being chased. Oh, wow. Lol, Lord Harrimont. You eventually were able to build a fleet that can hold its own, though not beat against it. Attacked, lost, retreated, killed a few ships, debris, and now tech. Congrats, Lord Harrimont. Modest test of strength, sure. So I talk a lot about how WoW was better or worse during different expansions. So these changes remain for those areas, or they permanently change across the game with the new expansion in. Generally speaking, those kind of changes stick. For good or for bad. So, for example, pretty much every class was in a really good space in Legion, specifically, right? Let's get rid of that sword. Where's the broadsword? There it is. And I can give you a specific example. Let's talk about Survival Hunters. Survival Hunters were in a really, really good space in Legion. One of my favorite classes just for sheer fun value. Never mind actual viability. Then along came BFA, completely destroyed Survival Hunter by trying to reverse it back to the way it was before, but in like the crudest way possible. And then Survival Hunter sucked throughout the course of BFA, and arguably in Shadowlands as well. Then along comes Dragonflight and turns Survival Hunters back into awesome, and they are once again back to being awesome. So that does bring up an interesting point, because if what you're saying is, does a class review effectively become invalidated the moment a new expansion comes out? And the answer is, not always. Not every class completely changes every new expansion, and in fact, they're actually trying to do stuff to mitigate how much classes have changed per expansion, by instead leaning into this hero talent thing. Now, this is an experiment on their behalf. We'll see how that goes. WoW is currently facing the problem that FF14 is only beginning to reach. When a game has been going on this long, each expansion needs new stuff for the classes to do. The classes need to change, they get new abilities, they get new kit, whatever, right? FF14 has only dipped its toes into this problem with a little bit of ability bloat, and they have taken some steps to mitigate that. WoW is long past the point where that's a problem, and they're starting to try and figure out how to make classes fresh and interesting without really changing the classes each expansion in the exact manner that you just described. The current method is what I just mentioned, the hero talents. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea. Like I said, it's another experiment. They experimented back in Legion, which I remind you was 8 years ago. They experimented back in Legion by adding the artifact abilities, and then those went away. And then BFA experimented by doing absolutely nothing. Shadowlands tried to make your ability progression tied to your covenant rather than your class. That sucked. And Dragonflight revitalized the talent tree and made them the best talents in the entire gaming industry. We'll see where we go from here. No, a noble name. We're slowly inching our way towards positivity. Just like in real life. Anyways, I suppose that probably doesn't answer your question, Blade Duvall, and for that I apologize. Okay. Having said that, the threat, and several people have said this over the years with any MMO review, is that over time, certain aspects of the review are going to be invalidated. It's one of the reasons why when we were going through the recent Endwalker patch stuff, one of the things I did was I spent a lot of time codifying and solidifying the notes, the way they were organized, the way that they were laid out, to make it easier to edit in the future when future expansions change how those work. Because they will. No, I didn't. God, I haven't followed Maple Story in forever. Whoops, that's the wrong button. So what happened, Noble Name? Sorry, I didn't prompt you there. Whee! Oh, wow. A Noble Name. I don't know if that qualifies as drama, so much as trying to get the attention of the devs. A harder to do thing than it sounds, let me tell you. That's not... Nexon is terrible. I would actually say Nexon is much worse than EA. I mean, at this point, I might not have a choice, to be honest with you, Blade Duval. Where'd my bomb go? Never mind. Oh, okay, sure. That is a valid question, Blade Duval, though. And I've considered it, but like I kind of just hinted at, I might not have a choice. Like, the Acclamation patch might have come out before I successfully have finished moving and finishing up all the streaminations and the Zelda block and whatever else comes out in the middle there. Hey, Mr. Ed. I recommend food. It's this brand new thing that's awesome. No, I mean, that's practically how the Baldur's Gate 3 run went. Played them all. Arguably, that is a completely different game now than it was. And it's only been like 6 months or whatever. No. Dang it. I've already solved the puzzle. Let me move on, please. There. God. I need to look up what that term is. As I mentioned before, there is an actual development term for the amount of time in between when the player has solved a puzzle and then when the player has finished solving the puzzle. And it's a good metric for general quality of puzzle design. Like, you want to see a really good example of that, Portal 2. In Portal 2, pretty much the moment you figure it out, within like a minute, you will have then executed the solution you've already figured out. There are a couple exceptions to that, obviously. You know, is luminous stone even actually good for anything? Random, yeah, thought process there. You know what's funny? I had pretty good viewing figures when it came to the Metroid series recently, which I was very pleased by. For some strange reason, my viewing figures haven't been really high on the Breath of the Wild run. Now, they haven't been low. More like average. So, I guess what I'm saying is, for all of you who are still watching this nonsense, thank you. For somehow still watching this nonsense. We might actually have to be careful here. Not because it'll damage us, no, no, no. But because we might run out of weapons. Or the opposite of running out of weapons. We might have too many weapons. We have discussions and stuff. That's pretty much the lore runner in a nutshell, isn't it? What do? We have discussions and stuff. Alright, so I got rid of that one. What else do we have to get rid of? Durability up. I don't know. Let's get rid of this, the crap spears. Yeah, that was irritating. You know, I can't really argue against that, Lord Hermon. Oh no, my crappy spear broke. You like giant glowing beams, right? Because I got giant glowing beams. Alright, what else can I break on this thing? Let's start working through this thing. I wonder how much the damage boost I'm getting, like, mathematically. Because this is a 20 damage weapon. But I have the full Berserker suit on, right? So what kind of damage am I actually doing per swing? Apparently it also does double to robots. I didn't know that. Oh, yep, thank you for reminding me. We just broke 2 weapons. So I should probably click that twice. I admit this is probably lowballing it, because I have not been keeping perfect track. It's still up to 65. So... just occurred to me. All this great gearing isn't going to help with Eventide at all. Although, that's sort of the point of Eventide. So, double plus 50%. Depending on how they do the math on that, that could be a decent chunk of change. Like 60 damage per swing. Oh, hey. Just, here's a reward. Anything good? Eh. I don't actually think I have any use for diamonds, but, you know, whatever. God, they really like the color blue in this game, don't they? Blue and amber. They really, really like their blue and their amber. No. What you can do, Dream Whisperer, is you can turn in a certain amount of items, like rare items, and then get another copy of, like, the tribal weapon. So I could get the eagle bow, I think, right now, and that's it. But, you know, there are others you could do that with. It's the closest thing to repair that we have in this game, unless you count the 10-minute recharge on the Master Sword. Which still amuses me. Don't get too wet, Bragwin. Assuming it's still raining. Hopefully it is not. The hell was that? Oh, that's just fire. Okay, cool. I like fire. Oh, I should probably leave WoW. Didn't realize I was still in WoW. Oop. Offer me a block of ice. I'm so thirsty. Oh god. This, I think I remember this shrine too. Yes, please, Link. My coffee's too hot. I'm begging you. You don't understand. Ooh, that was actually a little close. I'm gonna accept that. What? Stay there. You know, you'd think this metal would be really hot having just been pulled out of, you know, lava. But whatever. I ain't here to argue. As much as I joke around, I remember this as being one of the better ones. So here's hoping I'm not about to eat those words. How do I get past this one? I'd take Protection Paladin over Survival Hunter. Thematically, you know. Granted, he doesn't have access to the same type of spells and whatnot. But still. Oof. Yeah, hang on. I think I'm overcomplicating this. Let's try something else. Damn. Okay. Never mind. Game. There we go. Woo. Like me. Alright, who ordered the block of ice? Thank you. This hot chocolate was just a bit too much for me. But now it is the perfect temperature. So saith the legend of heroes. God, now that sounds like a nightmare escape. Imagine a setting in which everything is part of some big prophecy. And I mean, like, you know, getting a cup of coffee, right? It was foretold 7 millennia ago that there would be a cup of coffee, and lo, it would have a block of ice put within. In the doing, this would retain its properties. Yeah, I did not go outside today because that is my destiny. What'd you go see, Ross? I mean, they kind of do, yeah, Blurtival. Like a silly amount, honestly. Where is this? Where are you? Where are we? Where are we? Gruta Highlands. Ah. Well, without spoiling, what'd you think? You hated it. Be honest. Be real. Be true. I mean, hanging in the balcony is getting some air, but it's not really going out, you know? You're just hanging, you know? No judgment. Interesting. That makes sense. That's kind of how the original Planet of the Apes series went. And Lord knows they would not let that franchise die. I'm not actually sure, Jolly Leprechaun. I'm not actually that familiar with Aztecian or Mayan culture. Okay. Instant break. You know, I just realized we can just straight up berserker these at this point. So we can push through their defenses. And we're kind of doing okay on weapons for once. So I don't want to waste too much of this. What are we at on shields? Oh, let's toss that thing. Ugh. Much better. Get all proper cyberpunky here. Yep, 2 more weapons to the tally. Thank you for reminding me. God, I really am bad about... How are we out on weapons right now? 2 slots. Not great. Frostblade with a magic enchant, a damage enchant, excuse me. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of usage for Frostblade, so we're gonna focus out for a bit. You know, I know they're not, but it really feels like there's so many combat shrines. You know, that's a fair point, R. Spruce. And we haven't actually hit the Goron area yet. Frickin' ants. Even the gods have problems with ants. Ugh. You get one ant and it's just a problem. You squish it and the other ones smell it and it's like, oh, hey, there's something up here. Let's do this. Yeah. You just have this giant mountain of corn and the ants are like, ooh. Oh, I remember this one. I remember hating this one. Maybe this isn't the one I hated. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. Okay, this is absolutely not the one I was thinking of. Holy crap, that was a joke. Fun, you know. I'm with it, but that's done. I think we've gone back to lower level zone stuff. We're not really doing these in order. God, there's a bunch. Okay, we're deliberately waiting on that one. That's a combat shrine. Actually, I guess there's not that many left. There's 5 here. Good news, everyone. We only have 7 non-combat shrines left to push through. Any one of these might be... We still haven't found the climbing gear. Have you noticed that? I have done... I'm well over half of the shrines at this point. In fact, yeah, 85. If I'm reading that number correctly. That is entirely possible in Nobling, because we haven't been to the Ruto area, which is actually supposed to be the 3rd area you go to. And obviously we haven't gone to the Goron area yet, which at this point will be the last area we do. Yeah, minor test of strength. Yeah, I think I got that. Now wake me when it's done. I'm joking, I'm joking. Remember when we had trouble with a minor test? Feels like it was just a few days ago. Oh, it totally is, Frieza. If you're paying attention, and I don't blame you if you weren't, I was paying attention to the guidance in what the NPCs say, and the game very, very clearly is like, alright, first thing you should do is you should go to Kakariko. And there's a lot of things guiding you to Kakariko first. It's also a very safe trip, so there's not a lot that gets in the way of you going there. Once you get to Kakariko, she sends you up to Hateno, and Hateno sends you back to Kakariko. And then she sends you to the Ruto. They also mention the Ruto and Hateno. Twice. So there's a bunch of, hey. Plus, and I actually already talked about this earlier, the moment you enter the Zora region from any direction and hit any major point of interest, there's an NPC saying, hey, go talk to the prince, please. So, yeah, no, that's clearly where they want us to go first. Now, I'm not sure where they want us to go second. That might be when the game is intended to open up. That's true, Frieza. You're right. Hestu sends you north, too. And you can encounter him at several steps before you hit the Korok Forest. You know one thing I do legitimately miss about older games? A general lack of load times. Oh, don't mistake me. Load times were there, but they were short. Really short. In some cases, you couldn't even tell they were there. That's not a back in my day kind of a thing. It's just something that I was thinking about recently, because the next game we're going to be playing is Zelda 1, which has a load time of... and then you're in the dungeon. And if we're going to be doing puzzle stuff, let's get the Master Sword out here. And yeah, I feel bad for that one Zora. I've actually already talked to that Zora because I got in that tower. And that poor Zora is just up there like, yeah. Yeah, this is my life. And he's like, I'll just jump down into the water. Pause. Okay, no, I'm way too high up for that. Poor guy. Yeah, how do you get down? There's not really a defined way down other than climbing. And that does not look like a very fun thing to climb. And none of us have the Triforce of Courage, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's see what this does then. It's not even close to what I wanted to have happen, but you know what? I'm going to accept it. I don't know what you're thinking. Why am I using lightning arrows? Well, I have 0 regular arrows, 59 fire, 45 frost, 14 bomb, 3 ancient, and 122 shock. I'm using what I got. You're probably not super familiar with WoW, a noble name, but there are floating islands in certain parts in World of Warcraft. And there's no real way up to... Oh, interesting. Up to or down from those other than, you know, flying. I have had the thought before of what happens if you are just stuck on one of those floating islands. And you can't fly. So, at some point or another, you face the choice. Do you jump? Probably to your death, or do you dehydrate to death? Because not a lot of other choices there. You can also wait and hope, pray. It's just not high enough. Okay. Well, I mean, like in lore, Lord Hermon, because in lore, you're dead. Oh, I'm sorry, a noble name. I'm a weird one on that one. My mother hated video games, but allowed me to play them anyways. So I guess I'm fortunate in that respect. Well, someone was a dick, apparently, Lord Hermont. I don't know. I suppose imagine that one day you just wake up and you're up there. Would be the answer to that. Or you don't know, but in other words. I mean, that was actually the same deal I had at Noble Name. I always had to do my homework and my housework first. Because, you know, cleaning, cooking, all that was me. Mom worked full-time. More than full-time. Yeah, fun thing. You know how about that whole, oh my god, don't sit right next to TV, you'll hurt your eyes? Do you know that was actually proven false recently? Yeah, I know, right? Like, that was pretty much my reaction. Really? Huh. We were looking into it because the youngest likes to sit, like, right about here when it comes to watching TV. No, for more modern screens. Oh yeah, this is the plateau one. That's where I had to bull crap my way up the ledge. Did it! In the thunderstorm. I'm guessing this is just going to be a reward one. Yeah, we were concerned for obvious reasons. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay. There's actually a thing in here. Alright. Hey, Bregman. Did you get wet? No, not that kind of wet. The other kind of wet. No, not that kind either. Bregman! My god. I'm curious of something. Can we physics stuff like that? Whoop, that's the extremely wrong button. Oh, okay, sure, you'll do. Never mind. Physics be damned. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Oh my god, behold! Behold! Oh, I wish Sabacon was here. This is what she did. This is what her character did. Barad. In her story. He's like, oh, I wonder what's over here. Oh, what's over here? Oh, I see. Oh. Oh no, what's this one? Oh god. Oh god. Oh, hang on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. No, no, one more time. Ah, just the last time. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're cool. We're cool. And that's why Magneto is a high-tier villain. Any questions? Oh god, how do I get up now? Have I soft-locked myself by blowing up too much? Hey! Our second piece of rubber gear. I think I am soft-locked. That's funny. I didn't even know that was possible. Alright, hang on. Before we commit to that... Oh, and by the way, I know the real reason Magneto is overpowered. It's because the writers keep coming up with new bullcrap things he can do. Seriously, the moment that you can control, like, the magnetosphere of the entire planet, you're ridiculous. Pretty sure this is combat. Let's switch to a weapon that we can break. Philosophically? Well, obviously Magneto is in the right. We must kill. We must conquer. We must crush! But no, I would say they're both dumb. Major test. Okay. Yeah, no. Periodically, they'll have an Elseworld story or a side story or guidance story. Magneto is not a straight-up villain. But, by and large, Magneto is a villain. Not an antagonist. Villainous. Yeah, it's another thing. While Magneto is absolutely correct in that there's a lot of anti-mutant bias in the world, because, you know, it's the world, that's how people are. He is straight up a mutant supremacist. He is actually just as bad as the people he decries for exactly the same reason. I'm sure that's the point, but the point stands. Let's see, what else can I lose? You. And yeah, Xavier's a doormat, which is also problematic. I got a lot of negative comments during my DS9 runs because I kept criticizing the fact that the Federation was using doormat diplomacy. Most of those criticisms usually boil down to, you're just a warmonger. No. Being a peacemonger is actually just as bad as being a warmonger in most settings, and Star Trek is no exception to that. That is junk. I'm just going to leave that in. But our reward for a combat shrine, a major combat shrine, is a knight's halberd. What the crap? Yeah, that gets to stay in the chest and rot there. That is not worth my inventory space. I guess that's a fair point. I think we are still in either 1 or 2 level of world state, whatever you want to call that. Okay, so let's try this again. Warm. Huh? Yeah, Xavier, don't mistake me. I think that someone like Xavier is helpful as long as he's not the only person in the room. You know what I mean? As long as he has other people to bounce his ideas off of and to temper him. Because he has, as Trihexia points out, Xavier has lived an extraordinarily privileged life. He has mind control powers and is white, a guy, and rich. Some of them do, Yura. Not a lot of them, though. Having said that, he is right in many respects, which is kind of what makes him engaging, I think. Oh, wow. It's the way that I thought it was. Oh, yeah, he's generationally rich. He's got a lot going for him. Now that's fine. It enables him to do what he does. Did you just prevent me from... Oh, there we go. What am I going for here? What's my goal? Not that. What am I doing? Wrong thing. Wrong thing. I do have a couple of fire arrows. Let's go ahead and use some. Really? Well, whatever. I have a lot less bomb arrows. I'm not really willing to use those if I have to. Anyway, sorry, getting off topic. But yeah, I don't want to sound too dismissive of Xavier, because he's got some good ideas and he's got his head in the right place. He just needs someone with a little bit more practicality to bring him down. It's one of the reasons why a lot of the stories over the years have focused on the fact that it is Magneto and Xavier combined that really get stuff done. You know? Oh, I didn't even see those ropes. I literally didn't see those ropes. God damn it. Yeah, I think I'm good. Well, I guess I could lose the Lionel. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. I do have 3 Savage Lionel bows. Yeah, you know what? Alphina's is not exactly a bad way to put that. Although minus the tremendous psychic power. It really needs to be mentioned that Xavier is really, really, really high tier in a setting that is really, really, really high tier. I'm not even going to talk about the fact that he was able to send psychic signals to another planet, which is light years away, because, believe it or not, space is big. Yeah, exactly, Cure White Noise. Yeah, he's done a lot of insane things. There's a reason, well, I guess it's kind of spoilers, but there's a reason Onslaught is considered as high tier as he is. Now, there was a character I wanted them to do more with. They never did. Probably because that whole era was kind of dumb. For several reasons. I was right about when comics were dying as a medium, too. Go figure. Anyways. It's okay. They survived. It's just... comics were not in a good place when Onslaught came out. Okay, so let's try this again. This time without the rampant destruction. Yes. God. You know, X-Men introduced me to my very first big example of warfing. And I say it that way because obviously D&G was before that. But by my memory, the first real example I saw of warfing, where I just looked at it like, wait, really? And that was pretty much my reaction to it. See you around, Oculus. Have a good one. It was Gladiator in X-Men. The guy who made Juggernaut look like a chump. And that was the warfing. They took Juggernaut, who, like, did a full tilt punch to the face of Gladiator, and Gladiator was just like, no, I'm good. Okay, let's see if we actually have enough of a path to get up there. Shall we? I think we're good. I think we're good. We're good. You know, that's a really good question, Jolly Leprechaun. I don't know. Like, okay, let's get this out of the way. Wolverine claws are cool. Everybody knows that. A lot of characters over history in fiction have used the Wolverine claws, and they're cool. In fact, in some cases, they predate Wolverine, for that matter. So I think that's point number one. Wolverine claws, cool. It's the triple, right? It's the triad. Perfect. Shink. Whoosh. You know, it just looks cool. Past that? I'm not sure past that. Is that it? Yeah, that's a major combat, which I'm actually gonna hold off on for a minute. We never did this one. Let's do this one. That's what I thought. Yeah, we're at 90 of 120 shrines now. It's actually less than I thought. I will say Wolverine is an interesting character in that he's actually pretty low tier. It's kind of like Spider-Man in that respect. But he still has things that help him to swing above his weight class. Minor test of strength. Sure. And yeah, I suppose the vampire thing is going for him as well. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's Canadian. I don't know if that's actually significant to anybody, but it might be. You never know. It is kind of interesting to me. A lot of characters who are popular, you can point to them and say, that's why. I'm not sure about Wolverine. Yeah, no kidding, Doom Rider. Yeah, we have major tests of strength on lockdown at this point. Anything else is just breezing. Is Deadpool Canadian? Real question, I don't remember. Although he's kind of his own thing. Speaking of which, anybody excited about the new movie? Because I am. I mean, the trailer looks terrible, but all trailers look terrible. There you go. Wade Wilson was in Canada. Go figure. Oh, I'm totally a Deadpool fan. I will admit there is one scene in Deadpool 1 that I didn't enjoy. But other than that, no, I'm totally a Deadpool fan. My biggest problem with it was still the template kind of a trailer playable, and I just my tolerance for trailers has gone so far down over the last 20 years. What was this? Oh, okay, yeah. All right, let me level out my controller here. Four. Come back. Come back. Can I, like, reset? Hey, okay. 4, take 2. This feels like a tutorial for these type of things. Again. Which makes sense. This is a Ruto area. Oh no, this is north of the Ruto. How are we getting a tutorial for the physics gyro controls things up here? Like, this is on the way to the labyrinth. God. Yeah, trailers... There's an art to a good trailer. And there's actually several ways to do a good trailer. And then there's actual trailers, which suck. I am being a bit exaggerative. There's a gradient of suckitude going on here. But I'm really, really sick of the bog standard trailers. And I've noticed other people have started noticing the patterns in those trailers. Because they're just getting so obvious and so templated. Like, you can just see where they chunk and paste, chunk and paste, chunk. Okay. 1 second. 32. Yeah, exactly. Unknowable name. It's a damn shame. I still think we have so many interesting things we could do with film and television. But the industry is in the way, to put it bluntly. I've talked about that extensively, so forgive me for not going into it again. But, man... Hollywood as an entity needs to stop existing, to be blunt. It is a giant cancerous mass on the economy of the world and the United States. To give credit to this game, I do kind of like the Guardian piano combat theme. The one that's playing right now. It's probably one of only 2 combat themes in this game I really enjoy. No, I haven't, Jolly Leprechaun, although I believe you. I mean, I recently shared on my Discord something horrifyingly nightmarish. So someone has been using AI generation to do trailers in the style of movies from the 50s, of modern movies. Now, a friend of mine may be aware of this by linking me the Mario movie like that, which was absolutely horrific. But then I discovered they'd done one for Star Wars. And Episode 1. Whatever you're picturing is not horrifying enough, trust me. God. We're going to be here in a minute, by the way. I actually don't remember what max stamina is, but that's the goal. Is it just 3 circles? Because if that's true, we're going to be there pretty quick. Just a few seconds, actually. Ah, well, okay then. For some reason, I thought it was 4 circles. Texture is part of it too, Europe, but it's text, texture, and the thing. Yep, okay, so yeah, we cannot upgrade the stamina anymore. Time to actually start getting hearts again. Holy crap. It's been a minute. I mean, at this point, any hearts are just bonus points. We have 60 armor with our main suit. Lionels are hitting us for 1/4 of a health. aka 1 damage. Okay. So, there is something I've been holding off on doing for a minute. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, honestly. And, well, now we have max stamina and a lot more hearts. So why don't we take a break from shrines and try something a little bit more fun. What's a Vacation, Little Billy? Okay, so I was about to make fun and be like, hey, imagine doing this dragon riding. But I can't make fun of it because it's not very pretty. I mean, it's very atmospheric. What's really bothersome about the rain is it looks really cool. I love how they do the rain effects in this game. You probably haven't noticed, but they even only have raindrop on areas that aren't overhead. So, like, if you go to a tree, there will be dry spots underneath, which is really cool. If it didn't affect climbing, I would love the rain in this game. In fact, I probably will still give it a positive, just on the story axis. Let's just stop that down right here really quick. If I can type one-handed. Maxed stamina. That one chew in the air there. In all your travels, you've relied on your equipment. Here you must cast this equipment aside and face this trial with only your wits and what you can scavenge. Offer up 3 orbs to the 3 altars. Only then will I acknowledge your skill and return your items. Yeah, this one spot has generated a lot of discussion about this game, and for good reason. Like, I honestly think this island was a really cool idea. How well it reviews, we'll find out in a second. Let's see if it'll actually allow me to climb up on this guy's belly again, because it didn't last time. I'm still not sure why. Last time he was just like, thwap! Like, nearly killed me with essentially by physicsing me to death. Yeah, okay, so. Can't climb him. Got it. I'm just gonna give up on that immediately. Hey look, a junk spear, but it's a spear. Okay. Okay. Oh, you son of a submariner. Also notice most of the enemies here are designed as if you have nothing. Which makes sense because they know you do. Like, that's so logical, isn't it? Stop it! Take your arrows. It's actually our first Boko bat. Wow. We should be okay with it. Used up most of our good spear, but hey. And now it's lightning. Cool. Hey, Huthor. And that is me murdering Huthor for pretending to be the guy I can't think of the name of. I really can't. Alright, whatever. Moving on. Exactly, Frieza. I know this sounds weird that I would argue for getting rid of player choice and player options. However, when a game knows exactly what the player has, there's so much more they can do with designing the levels, challenges, enemies, bosses, etc. that the player is going to interact with, because they know what you've got. And I don't just mean for challenge or balancing purposes, I mean they can be fun. They can think about it and be like, you know what would be really cool? And they can do really cool stuff. The really good Tom Bombadil, that's his name. No, Yura, I would not. The really good Mega Man games know this when it comes to the Wily levels, for example. Because when you get to the Wily stages, well, they know you have all the kit at that point, so they can design around it. And that can lead to some really, really good stuff. Yeah, no. No. Get away! Oh, Jesus. It killed him. That's hilarious that that worked out that way. I'm not gonna argue. Take the shield. Immediately unequip the shield. Oh no, never mind, I got that on. Okay, well, so one down. Doing good so far, doing good. I think our Hinox friend might have gone back to sleep. Because sleeping in the rain, that's just a thing, right? Let's see if we can do this the other way. I don't want any of this stuff, please, game. Now we run. Oh Lord, he coming. Okay. We're gonna let the bokoblins kind of eat some of that electricity for a minute there. I shouldn't... Okay. I'm just gonna let that go. Okay. Discharged. Got that one here. Immediately get electrocuted. Should be a discharge, but there was. Got two down. This is hurting like hell, and we don't have a lot of heals. In fact, I don't think we have any heals. So, let's be cautious. Let's do this. Ooh, okay. Let's grab some food, such as it is. Well, I'm glad you got food. Not as glad that you had a miserable walk. We here at the Lore Walkers are not in favor of misery. Despite what some members will tell you. Okay. Two down. Doing okay, doing okay. I don't remember what the third one is. So this should be fun. I wonder. That did, like, no damage to him at all. Wow. It's worth checking. He just picked up a tree to come attack me. Okay. Look, I'm sorry, dude. I'll leave you alone from now on, I swear. I just wanted to see what would happen and if I could kill you. Okay, I just wanted to see if I could kill you, sir. Sir, I'm sorry for attempted murder. I took it back. I won't attempt murder again, I swear. If you just leave me alone, sir. That's doing no damage to him. Alright, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Peace. Peace. I could see that, Spruce. I don't know. I'm probably weird, but I love Eventide. You probably can't even tell. I'm having a... Oh. This is a terrible time for that to happen. Okay. I love how the combat music is overriding the Blood Moon music. Did you catch that? Okay, so. Yeah, we had a combat. Maybe. Hey, do they have an orb? Well, they don't have a lookout anymore. Well, that all sucks, and I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Mr. Red. I can't cook food on this island, can I? It just wasn't raining. That's a comfort. Oh, there is an orb up there. What do you know? Listen, there's no cooking on this island, okay? I don't know what you're on about. Imagine waking up just in time to die. Here's the real question. How did it turn out? Because broccoli, pasta, and anchovies does not sound like a winning combination to me. But I'm not the one who ate it. Congrats, Uthor. We're not there yet. We're like level 14 or something. You know what's funny is we wouldn't even have this really nice mace if not for the lightning strike earlier. Okay. So I have a third orb. I do not have a third destination. Please stop giving me bows. What am I in combat with? Why is there fire everywhere? Why is the fire spreading? Far Cry 3 vibes. Oh, hello. It's a red chew. Ugh. Well, okay. Yeah, no kidding, Dream Whisperer. That's why I waited on even tackling this spot until the Blood Moon finished. Okay, so... Like, logically, it's got to be over here, right? Is today the fajitas, or am I misremembering Braglin? And she's already gone. That's okay. I look forward to living vicariously. It is fajitas. Woo! I think I see a cooking spot. Delicious food. Oh, there it is, there it is. Okay, yeah, I have memories of this now. Now that I'm thinking about it. I just need to not die to that sniper behind me. No, come back, no! Yeah, I remember getting this thing out to that island was a thing. I don't even remember how I did it last time. It's funny, Uthor. Just heal, heal, heal. I was actually talking about this earlier, Uthor. I'd be curious of your thoughts on it. One of the things that I think all game designers, but especially MMO game designers, need to do is stop worshiping at the altar of balance. That when they are allowed to make cool, interesting, fun things, the games they make tend to be cool, interesting, and fun. And I actually was using the Bataria remix as an example of when they were just allowed to make cool, interesting, fun stuff. And lo and behold, it is cool, interesting, fun. And then I used a bunch of other examples of older games you've probably never heard of that did exactly that on accident. And lo and behold, those games were really, really good. Well, in WoW's case exactly, for example, I would go ahead and have, go ahead and keep your balance crap when it comes to mythics and probably PvP. I would say. Nope, that was not enough. What was that, 4 shots? I should have been counting. Yeah, I remember trying to use Ice Block here and it not going very well. Not in a while, but I have played it, yes, Archbishop on a friend's copy. Stay there. MDI. Sure. No. What's MDI? Yeah, these are the kind of issues I was having last time. Dream Whisperer. What, 2 of these up at once? Stay there? Okay. And yet, Dream Whisperer, as always, was proven right. In the end, there was no defeating the Whisperer of Dreams. Insert FF9 reference here. Mythic Dungeon International. Okay, so... I'm with you so far, Huthor. I'm curious where the disagreement is coming from. Shut up! I'm trying to go to your stupid shrine. What is this, Dragon Quest Builders 2? Christ. Sorry. Hi. Ham. Wait, who did say ice? Oh, it's Jolly Leprechaun. I'm sorry. Damn you, Jolly Leprechaun. Stealing Dream Whisperer's idea. Put you. I mean, their technology is straight up Magitech. They're pretty advanced, right? Yeah. Also, they made, and I gotta stress this, a bird-shaped airship that could stay in the air and functional after 10,000 years of no maintenance or upkeep. I have nothing else to add to that. Every other thing I could say to emphasize how crazy their tech is pales in comparison to that simple fact. Nope. The Divine Beasts were built 10,000 years ago. I warned you, buddy. We could have been live and let live. Live and let die. Yeah, it's been in the air for 100 years, which is just more fuel to the fire, honestly. There we go. I have now cosplayed as Mr. Red for a moment. Yeah, you go bury a lawnmower for, I don't know, a month. And then pull that sucker out and tell me how well it operates. Now, we don't know how long they were buried, but I would argue it doesn't really matter. They were buried. Long enough that they had to be excavated. So anyways, that was Eventide. Lessons. No, actually, Dream Whisperer. I don't know how to do it off the top of my head, anyways. I can look it up. but I won't. Really, Dream Whisperer? That's funny. Actually, yeah, Arspruce. Absolutely. I'll type up more thoughts later, but yeah. Positives. Big positives. I love Eventide Isle. Glad it held up. Probably just animal-shaped mecha, although they do have magic involved as well, Trihexa, because, you know, Magitech. Yeah, actually, fun fact. At one point in my life, I had a car that had to sit unused for about 9 months. And that car was barely functional. And that was just sitting out in the air. Actually, no, not at all, Huthor. I'm afraid I've completely lost the train of thought there. You lost me, Huthor. I'm too stupid. I'm sorry. I have no brain. No thoughts. Only Breath of the Wild. Where am I going? Over here, I think? Yes, over here. We need to get some arrows. Speaking of... Okay, I got 3 of them. I don't remember how to get arrows. How do we get arrows here? Is it just a chest that respawns? Sounds like a yes. So we now have a supply of arrows for the first time in the entire game. In fairness, we could have done Eventide a lot earlier, but man, doing that without health is a little rough. Well, I mean, yes, of course they will, Huthor, but like, I'm sorry to say this, what does that have to do with balancing? Or overbalancing, or underbalancing for that matter? Okay. We did just have a Blood Moon. So... that would be nice, Dream Whisperer. Why is it 10 arrows? Like, you know, you gave us a respawnable source of arrows. Why didn't you make it more than 10? It's just a time tax at that point. Sorry. I'm coming across as far too complaining. I apologize. But was it good, Jolly Leprechaun? That's the real question. Oh, the song doesn't play up here. It's like one of the best songs in the game. It doesn't even play up here. Ah! Interesting. So I don't want to disagree with you, Huthor, but Guild Wars 2 doesn't have that situation. And Guild Wars 2 has the least balance when it comes to builds and classes of any MMO that I am aware of. Now, you could argue that that's just because of sample size, and I have no counter-argument for that, but it is something to keep in mind. Where's my armor? My real armor. There you are. what kind of chocolate, Mr. Red? I need, what, 4 guts, I think? Yeah. Hey, what have I got for weapons? Because we're going to start using real weapons, because we're killing Lionels again. Let's use you. Because I think this is a white or a blue, and either way, it's something worth my time. So we'll see how this goes. Hope you enjoy being blinded while doing a fight that's actually pretty rough. Drop everything here. And then get run over. That attack. Regardless, Uthor, I don't think you're going to convince me of elsewise. I do apologize. But I do accept that I am terribly wrong about my overall premise. I mean, that's a lie. I'm lying to you. I shouldn't do that. I don't agree with you at all. But I'm not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. Oh, yep. Didn't make it. Because I had to go up a hill. Well, the other thing that weirded me out is part of my overall point was that if you're gonna have balance, you have it in a vacuum, right? Like your MDI example. Mythics, PvP. Sure, keep that balanced. Let the rest of us have fun. I absolutely phrase it that way. Probably the example of this, although there's a lot that can be said about this topic, is League of Legends. One of the most boring, bog-standard, dull as dishwater MOBAs out there, specifically because it's designed that way. That's what they want. They want it to be boring and bog standard and simple, because the whole point is for it to be as balanced as possible, so that every match is the same, so it's all up to player skill. That's the goal. God damn it! That attack. I hate that attack. I can't make that distance without the shoes on. Where's my weapon? We'll use you. Can't even see. Oh god, quit that. Really, Dream Whisperer, by all means. We might actually come up with another negative. I'm ready. Okay, that is a white. Couldn't tell if it was a white or a blue. I am not Uthor. Did I get any guts in that? I didn't even tell. I wasn't even looking. It's my fault. Should have been looking. 1. I got 1 guts. It's better than nothing. Thank you. Glorious Barbarian. Always appreciate your support. I am well aware of weak auras. Weak auras is a long-standing add-on that actually doesn't do anything in its own right. It's there to be a function for other add-ons. But yes, I'm aware of what weak auras is and does and operates and blah, blah, blah. Anything non-EX? Actually, I do. A Traveler's Sword. I don't even know if I could get a Traveler's Sword at this point. Turn in this quest really quick. Yeah, for the record, I don't use weak auras. There's not really a lot of reason to be quite blunt. For me, anyways. That's what I'm doing right now, believe it or not, Arspruce. That's hilarious, Dream Whisperer. And terrible. But I don't think I could give that a negative. Sadness. Yep. I brought you a picture. Terrible, terrible picture. But it counts, so screw you. More beautiful than I imagined. Thank you, Mr. Hero. Now I'm content. Oh, here's a thank you gift. Money. Sure. Quest complete. There's actually one other quest I meant to do, so I might as well do that while I'm here. Yep, that's the one. Here. I'm starting to wonder where you're getting that from, Huthor. No offense intended, but, like, I know people who raid, and wow, they don't use weak auras. Obviously, I don't, and nobody I know does. And, like, I'm starting to wonder if that's a cultural thing. Like, a regional thing, to be more accurate. Anyways, you haven't gotten to the actual private auras point yet. If it repairs them, it's probably because it technically despawns and respawns them, if I were to guess. Hey, I got your picture. I even gave your 500 rupees to them. Just to get to meet her, and I get to make my offering to Fairy. Thank you. Forgetting something? No, I don't think so. Wait, you're trying to tell me you want a reward, are you? You got to see the Great Fairy, and now you're asking for more? Even just in my dreams, won't you appear before me? Ah, actually, I did notice that just in normal play, Huthor, although that's just from observation. If you say so, Rain 36. Rain 36 is crazy. Alright, let's see. I never did this either. And then we just knock him out and take his stuff. He's so mean. I guess we could go heal first. Ugh. Off topic, but I do like the portal room they added in Dragonflight for the keys for mythics. I don't know if they had that before Dragonflight, but I do like that in Dragonflight. See, what I would probably do. Blizzard can identify whether or not someone's using an add-on. They have access to that kind of information. So, I'd probably go ahead if I was Blizzard, and rather than try to change the way that the game is operating, I'd just have a team whose job it is to temp ban or permaban people who use those kind of add-ons. There you go. Boom. Done. But then again, Blizzard has always been, excuse me, Blizzard has lately been entirely too, I don't know what word to use. Pussying? I'm trying to think of a less crude way to put that. They have been entirely too lenient with their own community and refusing to ban people for things that they really probably should. Yeah, doormat diplomacy. It's like, and I don't actually know where that's coming from. Because they certainly didn't used to be that way. Although then again, when Blizzard started with MMO, they were far too ban happy. It would ban people for things that they absolutely had no reason to. That was back in, like, vanilla. So yeah, maybe I mean, Blizzard always overcorrects. That's been true for years, so maybe that's just all it is. I have no idea. What if their feelings get hurt? Well, it sucks to be them, doesn't it? Oh yeah, weak auras is actually a cool add-on, I'll admit that. Like I said, I don't use it because I have no reason to, but the fact that you can track so many things of input... So, for those of you not aware, weak auras allows you to pull input from anything, and then output some kind of visible and or audio indicator as a result of that. So that allows you to essentially set up your own markers, trackers, that kind of stuff, which is very helpful for certain circumstances. Most of the stuff because I used to use weak auras, most of the stuff that I used to use that for has since become default UI, so that's why that's the thing. Hey, we're finally taking out a camp. I mean, like, just effortlessly, we're just gonna crush this place. Just in the face. In the face. Give me that. Listen. The more you stop running, the faster you will die. Just accept it. Accept the death. Accept the death. It's happening. I have a quest to kill you. You are guaranteed to die now because I have a quest to kill you. Reminds me of a comic, a webcomic about WoW, actually. There's a guy approaching the Murlocs, and the Murlocs... It's actually like a shot of the Murlocs in the town, and they're all just hanging out. And then someone says, "Adventurer coming! Adventurer!" I'm like, "Don't worry, I've got the emergency thing." And they go and they break the emergency glass and pop out a yellow exclamation mark. And then the Murloc just holds it over his head. It worked. Let's trash out of here. Oh, that sounds like it's dinner time. I'm actually familiar with that fight, on Mythic even, Huthor. And yeah, I believe that that's not my niece. It's my sister. Hello, sister. I accept this gift, which I'll put down here so we can see it. Oh yeah, check this out. So I did a little looking into this. Something's wrong with this specific thing, because we are supposed to just put this in the mailbox. Just straight up. So I don't know what's missing that she couldn't find.
Well, this is not a return label.
That could be what we're missing, because this is the return label that's in this or on this box. So this is trash now, because we don't have a method to return it. We have nothing to return it with.
What fight are you familiar with on Mythic?
Rodin in BFA. Do you use weak auras?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Why?
I was just curious. They were talking about the private aura thing.
Private aura?
Yeah, the Blizzard has apparently started removing some of the stuff from putting out in the Lua channels that add-ons can track, thereby removing some of Weak Aura's functionality.
Mm. Oh, I only use it because my guild leader says we have to.
Well, yeah.
So, or my raid leader. So, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Because, like, most of that shit is just... The only, like... I like the Razagath one.
What does she do that requires a Weak Aura?
On heroic and you get charges. Positive and negative.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if
yeah. Okay.
a negative and a positive touch each other, they explode for raid-wide damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either a teeny tiny debuff up there that doesn't look like a positive or a negative, or you get a big X or a big something else over top of your head.
Reminds me of Thaddeus, although I don't know if you ever
I
did
also had
Thaddeus.
to turn on speech bubbles for it, which is dumb.
I had to do that. I turned on speech bubbles a really long time ago, like in BC, and I just never turned them off.
I hate them. I hate them. I wish there was a way to be like, this add-on has access to speech bubbles.
That would be nice.
I also wish there was a way to move that Traversal log thing.
Is dinner ready?
Dinner is on its way.
Do I have an ETA?
No.
Cool. Thank. Got it. Okay. Thank you. So, ahem. The sheep have calmed down. I think they get they're not about to be snatched any moment. Sorry if I'm out the market asking, but are you the one who took care of those monsters? Yep. I had a feeling. When the sheep all calmed down, I thought, maybe he did it. It seems I owe you some thanks. This isn't much of a reward, but hey, counts for something. Milk! One of the best items in Ocarina. That's not even a joke. Oh, also, she's crushing on us, because of course she is! Alright, so that we're never doing. That we're holding off on. We could turn that in. I'm not sure I care. I don't know if I want the sand boots. You know? Like, the snow boots are just more useful. We do probably need to do all this DLC stuff at some point. Even though most of this is just go to spot, get item. Cannot pet dog. 0 out of 10. Alright, what haven't we done trial-wise? There's the one that needs arrows. Where are we at on arrows? Nine. Let's get some arrows super quick, shall we? Just super quick. Although we could just bulk wrap it. That's not a bad idea. Let's get some arrows and then let's bulk wrap. Let's have our cake and eat it too. Because screw that saying. I want cake and I want to eat it. That way I can offer more cake to other people if they come by. Mr. Red, would you like some cake? Congratulations. I have altered reality to ensure that I can have my cake and eat it as well. Reality thought it knew what it was doing when it faced me. Little did they know. Yes, cake or death. Still one of my favorite sketches of theirs. Alright, so let's go do some bull crap. Listen, Mr. Red has to watch TNG still. I mean, that's actually something I've argued for years, Uthor. Like, you remember when they were doing that arena stuff where everyone had access to the exact same item level of gear and the exact same enchants and the exact same buffs to flatten the field completely? I thought that was a good idea, personally. You want to have that level of flat competitive space, that's where you put it. I will admit that's boring as sin to me personally, but that's just because, you know, I have no interest in that. Okay, so I need to rotate you this way, I think? Nope. Okay. What? No, god damn it. I hate everything. Okay, whatever. This is not a puzzle I enjoy, by the way. Arrows. Okay, so we're exactly where I started. Cool. Not what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. Actually, that might be right. Right there. Well, don't look at me that way. Why are these not sticking? Why are some of them sticking and others are not? I'm confused about all of that, but I'm just going to let it go. Okay. But hang on. If that's why you're not watching Tangled, then why aren't you watching TNG, Mr. Red? Mr. Red, because I hate Star Trek. Which is valid, by the way. We have done 94 shrines, by the way. In fact, we've got a major combat shrine up there. That one, which we can't do until we do the Goron area. That one, both of which require doing the next dungeon to unlock. Then we got those two, which is in the Zora area, and that one, which requires going to Hyrule Castle, which is why I'm putting it off. So I think we're actually as swept as we're getting with shrines for the time being. Oh, nope. That's a major shrine. Okay, we'll hold off on that for a second. So we killed one of the ones up here. Let's kill the other one up here. We still need some guts. 3, I believe. Let's see if we can kill 3 Lionels. Or get 3 guts, I should say, before dinner gets here. That is the Zora area and the Goron area. Jolly Leprechaun. A good argument for not trying, Luthor. Go ahead and pop this out and get our real armor. Oh, we are in a real armor. Okay. Well, hang on, let's find the dude first. Hang on. Who wants to be blinded? Speaking of accessibility options, yes. Not being able to see what you're doing is hardcore. Oh, is that him right there? That's him right there. Yeah, speaking as someone who will literally never turn war mode on ever, 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 war mode's a good idea. But then again, I have a functioning brain, so... What are you? Perfect. The exact kind I prefer. Ow. Alright, fine. I'll put on some buff food, I guess. No, I hadn't heard about that, Uthor. So we're gonna go for this. We're not gonna get it, but we're gonna go for it. Holy crap. Have to do the Ross method here a little bit. Keep forgetting to check how many I'm getting each time because I'm so stupid. 2. We're up to 2. And yeah, we also broke something in the middle of that. Player drop-off? Oh, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to Classic that hard, Uthor. Although my first guess would be 1 week after it came out, but that's me being bitter. It's okay, Dream Whisperer. I already have several line elbows. Like, several. Like, my inventory is filled with savage line elbows. I'm good. I'm good. Actually, yeah, Ross. Our damage is finally at the point, and my armor is finally at the point where I can push through Lionels and net positive on them. Especially since I've stopped farming lower Lionels because they have started being a waste of time and, more importantly, durability. But the whites and, like, the one blue I've seen, much more worthwhile. Sunwell. That's funny. I am curious why those were the drop-off points, though. Like, is it just the best raids of their expansion? Is that the problem? Alright, that was all this great content. Screw this nonsense. I'm out. Where are you? Where are you? Yep. There he is. Yep, no, it's a white. Just making sure. No. Oh, okay, whatever. It's just out of range anyways. It's a spear guy, too. Oh yeah, I should probably put on real gear. Yeah, come. I will admit rather vindictively that I find that amusing. Yeah, excuse me, Lionel, could you pause for a second? I need to change my clothes. Thanks. Probably lawful good. Count about it. See that or neutral good. One of the two. I believe too much in order, structure, and being organized to not be lawful. So. Oh, shoot. I've got to go for this one. Oh, that was really, really close. Frost method here. Yeah, I know. Everybody uses that method. I think I'm the only one who doesn't use that method as a regular way to farm Lionels. As the meme goes, most people will not return the shopping carts at the grocery store. We get some bad attack patterns here, my god. Yeah, the Spear Lionels are my least favorite to fight. By a wide margin. I am aware of compulsory military service, yes. Ah! Sorry. Yes, I am, Russ. Hey! It's our buddy who was... Oh, jeez, this actually might be terrible timing. Oh, God. Oh, hang on, this might work out. Give me that, give me that. The hoof, too. I need hooves. this anymore. Too high. Damn. Oh well. Oh well. That was just bonus points. Oof. One more. Yeah, speaking of someone who's worked retail several times in his life. Agreed. I have unironically encouraged people to do a stint in retail at some extent or another. Pretty much just for the life experience. No, that's because you understand this alien concept, Yura, called sympathy and empathy. Unfortunately, not everyone is familiar with that concept. I actually don't know, Dream Whisperer. So your guess is as good as mine. So, one more Lionel, and then we might actually be done farming Lionels, at least until I need more weapons. Okay, two-hander. I can work with that. And I missed. Cool, perfect. I'm glad I healed before that. I disagree with that. Alright, we'll pop an armor food, I guess. Come on, get up! Get up! Ah, Link. But it hurt. I don't care if it hurt. Get up! You're gonna die if you don't get up. Okay, you died anyways. Okay, maybe I can't work with this. Oh, that's back. That's side, yeah. There we go. Well, he's a two-handed white Lionel, so that makes sense. That's a white Lionel. I disagree with all of those. That's all my fairies. Holy crap. You know, that's pushing through all my armor and my armor buff. And I'm dead. Wow! Holy crap! Holy God, that's our first death in a long time. He was just beating my ass. Good news is we're right here. Is he a white? Yeah, he's just a white. Alright. Alright, take two. Use buff foods, because I apparently need them. Great start. Great start. Oh, there's one death. Jesus Christ. I take it back. These are a little... What? That should not happen. That should not happen. I might give up on this guy. This might be too costly to be worth it. You can always just get another guy. Yeah, I think I'm going to give up on this guy. That's a shame. Alright, whatever. Just as well. Dinner is now here. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Roughly.